recording เริ่มได้เลยใช่ป่ะจูเนียร์ครับก็ welcome to tech2thai.com on Facebook Live นะครับอันนี้ก่อนหน้านี้เราอยู่บน thailandtoday.co ตอนนี้มีปัญหาเทคนิคนิดหน่อยก็เลยต้องมาใช้ tech2thai.com Facebook Live so this tech2thai.com is a technology and general news website on Thailand in English. And today we have a guest, a regular guest, in fact, Kun Top Jirayu, the founder and CEO of BitCup on the technology. He's a technology expert. So today our topic is Thailand's restarting Thailand's tourism and hospitality with technology. As everyone is aware that the Thai government has relaxed the lockdown over the past several weeks, and now we expect the third relaxation on June the 1st, and sooner rather than later, tourism and hospitality are going to be reopened, and we need technology to facilitate the reopening of these very important sectors because they account for nearly 20% of Thailand's GDP, tourism and hospitality. So today we will ask Kun Top Jirayu how technology can help Thailand's restart the tourism and hospitality sectors. Welcome to the program ครับคุณท็อป
Thank you for having me again here.
So what's your ideas on using technology to help Thailand's tourism, healthcare, hotels, airlines, etc., reopen their business following months of stoppage?
Sure. So, tourism is one of the largest sector in Thailand and one of the most important sector.
Yes.
Tourist sector comprises, a very important part in the Thai economy. It provides one in six job opportunities and accounts for 13-14% of the country's economy, which is a huge sector for us. For example, in January this year, we received 3.5 million tourists. But after the COVID announcement, the impact, it's one of the hardest hit sector, especially the Chinese tourists. They account for almost 30% of all the tourists visiting Thailand. They play a vital role. And after the COVID announcement, after Wuhan was shutting down for quarantine, Bangkok, Thailand, we see an impact. We experienced the impact right away after that announcement. Suddenly, Bangkok temples, markets became less crowded, and it's one of the biggest sector affected. But luckily, everywhere is now started to recover, and we see a shift in a new consumption pattern. And in this talk, we will discuss a few things: what the hotel owners will need to adapt, or what they need to do. There are quite several things. First of all, I personally foresee that tourists will prefer more private hotels than large hotels with many rooms, because there's health concern. I'm sure there will still be an ongoing trust issue and health concerns with traveling, so they will avoid huge crowds and communal sharing spaces in any room. So travelers will redefine the industry with the concept of social distancing.
Mhm.
meaning that companies like Airbnb, they will prosper after the pandemic because they have this small villas versus big
Mhm.
hotels. If people will prefer to go to small towns, small villages, than going into big hotels with many people gathering in one place. So that's trend number one, right? People will avoid huge crowd, and the health concern is still an ongoing issue. They would prefer small hotels, private hotels over the big ones. And the second trend I see is that people will prefer longer stay versus a
Mhm.
shorter stay. For example, in Airbnb, the CEO, Brian Chesky, CEO of Airbnb, he was saying that you know uh, stays of more than 30 days account for about 15% of Airbnb. But he sees that the trend is going to increase more because people will will enjoy remote working, right? Because we are now working from home,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
a lot of companies will realize that people can actually work anywhere, right? People in San Francisco can actually come to Bangkok, for a cheaper price. They can stay for 30 days longer in a private villa and work remotely. So I
Mhm.
think, more longer or infinite stays, there'll be a more demand on platforms like Airbnb versus a short-term stay.
Mhm.
Right. So for the first trend, people will prefer smaller hotels versus bigger
Yes.
hotels with many people. The second trend, the length of stay might be longer because, you know, they might be coming to Thailand because it's a much safer place now. The number of COVID patients are a lot less than in America or in Europe,
Yeah.
and they might, just come here and work from
Work
hotels
from
or
Thailand, you mean?
work from Thailand, private villas for
Mhm.
a company in San Francisco, for example.
Mm.
Right. So the second trend would be an increase in demand in infinite stays or multi-month, multi-month stay.
Mm.
So I think hotels should tailor or change their customers group from a shorter stay to facilitate those uh, digital nomads, right, for a
Yeah.
longer stay.
Mm.
They might need to change their business model to a longer stay client.
Mm.
That's the second trend because all the empty rooms now in Thailand, obviously people are not traveling yet. Why don't
Yeah.
we change all these empty rooms to become accommodation for those who want to live in Thailand
Yeah.
for 30 days, 3 months, 6 months,
Mm.
and work online for companies in the West, for companies in the US, in Europe.
Mm.
So I think that's the second trend that hotels could change themselves to focus on longer stay, infinite stay
Mm.
versus the shorter stay.
Yeah. Could talk
Uh,
what just a little bit on what are the technologies you think can be used to increase tourist confidence in their health, in the hygiene? What are the
sure.
technologies?
So a third trend that hotels need to focus on is to to show safety, right? It is
Mhm.
very important to communicate safety to clients, to customers, to travelers, because
Yes.
there's a health concern, health issues ongoing. So companies, hotels need to invest in what we call a low touch technology,
Mhm.
right? Whether people can, walk in and use mobile phone check-in in a touchless, low touch contact point. Right? They
Mhm.
can adopt, cloud technologies
Mhm.
to avoid huge gathering, right? With cloud-based property management system, for
Mhm.
example, they are able to control all operations at any time from anywhere. So these
Mm.
are the investments in technology that companies need to invest, or
Mm.
hotels need to invest. Invest in low-touch technology, so
Yes.
people can check in online, right? People can do uh, self-service payments without having to go to a reception. Right? Invest in self-service pay systems, order through mobile phones, non-contact service and order deliveries. We can deliver food from hotel, restaurant to hotel.
No buffet in the morning. No buffet in the morning. You think so?
So you need to avoid like communal area, like meeting rooms with a lot of people. People are going to be more concerned with social distancing. So I think companies or hotels need to redefine the way operations
you also mentioned about crowd management within the hotel complex, right? How technologies can work for us to make sure people not meet too many people in one place at a given time.
So, for example, people that are working in hotels, once you adopt cloud technology, they can work anywhere, anytime, right? Because everything is on cloud. So you can manage your hotel, bookings on the back end, or the property management system are on cloud. So people can work anywhere to avoid, people coming to one place, crowded place. So once, hotels adopt more technology, people can leverage on those new technology to help them work from anywhere at any time without, having to meet face to face to get the same things done.
I mean the counts from the gathering of too many cases, too many customers at a given time. Not only the staff, they can also do that, like with technology.
Sure, there are available technologies out there that allow us to do an online conference or online announcement or online communication instead of face-to-face close contact communication with the customers. Even like marketing, people are doing marketing online now to get to customers, and it is very important that not just investing in low touch technology, but it's more important that hotels communicate trust and safety. Before prior to COVID, you can think of your hotel company with safety protocols. But post-COVID, you are now a safety company that has hotels. Right? So now you're not a hotel company, you're a safety company that has hotels, instead of becoming a hotel company with safety protocols. So you need to put safety first by investing in low touch, technology, and also communicate well to customers that you invest in new technology, and also hand sanitizers in the station at the entrance and exits and in every toilet to make sure that you clean rooms regularly every hour to the same standard as hospitals. I think hospitals are doing a great job at cleaning or ensuring safety. And I think hotels, must work to assure customers that they are safe to use in the same standard as hospitals now.
So it's the safe and hygienic. And you mentioned many things, including markings inside the elevator. You have to limit the number of people now. We have seen in many offices that maybe only 4 persons can use the elevator at a given time. Or even the latest news, Kuntop and our audience, we heard that the Thai government is going to allow the group customer inside restaurant, eateries in Bangkok and other big city, up to 6 persons. I think the same may apply to restaurant inside the hotel and the eatery inside the hotel, and how technology can help manage the social distancing inside the property.
So for sure, with the COVID, it will take at least 10 months for the sector to return to its normal levels. Even within the hotel, you need to implement social distancing, right? To avoid huge crowd or people gathering closer to each other. So for sure, restaurants would need to have spaces, more spaces allocated between customers, even just inside the hotel, to make sure that it is a safe place for people to visit. And I think there would be a regular testing in place as well. For example, right now in Taiwanese government, they are
Yes.
testing, a testing. There's a testing service that tests tourists every 2 days,
Mhm.
and they are able to leave the quarantine period 14 days after they stick to the strict procedure, right? And if this model works, it could be scaled up to other countries as well. And they will start next month. The Taiwanese government, there will be a group of people traveling from America to Taiwan, and they will start with this group. They will do regular testing for COVID.
I
And
see.
even in China, they also have this program where Korean tourists coming to China soon,
Mhm.
they don't need to stay for 14 days quarantine period,
Mhm.
so long as they follow a strict procedure through health screenings. So they're starting to be creating new procedures within hotels or traveling industry to avoid this 14-day quarantine, but to also ensure
Yeah.
safety to customers.
So Kutop, very important on that point. You said we can learn from hotels, other tourism operators in Taiwan, right? In China. I think that you mentioned about the testing of the visiting tourists, about the tracking, and about the contact tracing, the triple T's that the health care expert have talked about. So if Thailand can do that, then we don't need to quarantine foreign visitors for 14 days. But we can still be effective, right? In make sure that they don't have infection by testing them upon arrival, and by tracking them where they're going to stay. And you have the application to do that. And by contact tracing, in the case that they are infectious and then have contacts with other people. So you are saying that we have to closely monitor the latest development from Taiwan and China. You mentioned Taiwan starting next month, right? About foreign visitors. Mhm.
Yes. In China, even domestic travelers, the demand went
You do
up
the same.
100%.
Uh-huh.
And after they stopped the shutdown, domestic
Uh-huh.
traveling went up 100%. And Chinese government, they're implementing safety procedures. Like, for example, like you said before, in a restaurant, even inside a hotel,
Yes.
they must ensure that there are enough spaces, right? When they reopen the restaurant inside a hotel, there are more spaces between tables, for
Yes.
example. Or customers will not want to stand in crowded lines to check in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to stick to a stricter procedure and do more regular testing every 2 days to avoid this 14 days quarantine
Mm-hmm.
period. And Taiwanese government is starting to do this next month. The Chinese government will implement on Korean tourists soon, without enforcing 14 days frozen
Yeah.
period to the tourism industry.
Mm. And this can also be used in Thailand for domestic tourism if we want to relax the tourism sector further. Maybe we can start with domestic traveler first for a certain period before we open up open up to the international visitors, right? So I think you can imagine that as a hotel guest, then we can book our hotel room online, maybe with our mobile app, and we can go there and check in again without having to go to the front desk. And then maybe we can go straight to our room, right? That has been cleaned. And maybe we don't even have to touch the door not to open, something like that. So is that something the new normal for hotels and hospitality, in your opinion?
Yes, for sure. I think health conscious, health concerns will be the top priority for travelers, and
Uh-huh.
it's going to be the new normal in at least for 10 months
Uh-huh.
until it gets back to the normal level. So companies and hotels need to invest in technology, low touch technology, to make sure that there is as little contact point as possible. Invest in cloud technology, invest in low touch technology to make sure that the customer journey is smooth, to avoid crowded space, not just in technology, but also invest in strict procedure, like no stand in line to check in, or more spaces between tables now
Yeah.
for restaurants, or start with delivery, right? Delivery process, uh,
Mhm.
a procedure to make sure that people don't come in one place to avoid big gathering. For
Mhm.
sure, that's going to be the new normal, and companies should invest in technology to reduce operating costs also,
Mhm.
because uh, with less demand, the traveling industry is not going to be the same in the next until at least 10 months for everyone to get back to the normal level. So
Mhm.
hotels need to invest in technology to reduce costs, operating costs.
Mhm.
And the fourth thing that they need to do is they need to focus on a new segment of people, right?
Yes.
They might be able to focus on corporate travelers first.
Mhm.
Corporate travelers, once the countries open up the space, they may need to travel for work. So companies can hedge the room prices
Mhm.
to against with corporate travelers, because they are the one that will travel for sure, versus leisure traveling, they may just prefer to stay at home. but
Yes.
but those that really need to travel for face-to-face meeting, for very important meetings, there's a need to travel. Maybe hotels should focus on this group of people first, to negotiate some kind of package, future contract, to hedge the room prices, uh, to make sure that their operating cost is fully covered by these new group of customers traveling soon after we open up the country. Or there's a new segment, a younger generation, according to New York Post, millennials.
The million.
Uh, the millennials, they are the most eager group to get out and explore the world, even
Mhm.
with COVID, because these group people with less budget, right, less money, they are tapping into this opportunity of cheaper traveling, because everyone is giving out discounts. Hotels are
Yeah.
giving out discounts. They are getting low prices, uh, and they're showing no fear to virus, because they are the stronger group of people versus
Mhm.
the old people that are more risky to get
Yeah.
contact. After they are contacted with the virus, they are more risky versus the younger generation. So I'm sure after we open up the country, the first group of people that are traveling are the millennials, the one with lower budget. They want to tap on this opportunity for low prices products,
Mhm.
to travel cheaply, and they're less concerned, they're less fear
Mhm.
to contacting the viruses.
Mhm.
Um, they prefer to get the unique experiences right now, right?
I
So
see.
I think that's another group of customers that hotels can focus on. They can tailor their product to serve
Mhm.
corporate clients, as well as serving millennials
Mhm.
for short-term stay, right? But
Mhm.
if another way they can change their business model is to focus on longer term stay, infinite stay.
Mhm.
Thailand can become a safe haven for all the rich people wanting to avoid the virus in America, in Europe, which is more deathly. Right? In Thailand, there are only like a few
Yeah.
patients, coronavirus
Mhm.
patients, versus in America or in Europe, where the rates are much higher.
Yeah.
So those who can afford to travel to Thailand and work here for 3 months, 6 months, or a year, some hotels with private villas, uh, they can, change their business model to focus on these group of travelers for infinite
long
stay,
stay. Mhm.
long stay.
Yeah.
But if they don't want to focus on long stay,
Mm.
and they want to focus on short-term stay, they need to change their group of customers to focus on corporate travelers more and hedge future contract prices with corporate companies, right? Corporate travelers, or focus on millennials, those who dare to take risk with lower budget.
Yeah, according to a U.S. medical doctor study, they said Thailand is one of the top 5 countries in terms of best handling the COVID-19 pandemic. So we are in the ranks of Thailand, Taiwan, Vietnam, and New Zealand, and Ireland, I think. So these 5 places have the lowest number of infections per capita, the lowest fatality per capita, and so far the healthcare system is, has no problem in coping with this pandemic. So as you mentioned, it's a good opportunity for long stay visitor to Thailand, and also even for healthcare or medical tourism further down the road. But right now, you mentioned about Airbnb study that there are more opportunity for smaller hotels, resorts operator, right? So in Thailand, they should prepare for that, and also for the bigger ones. So what your suggestion for the small operators in Thailand?
I think they're a great venue for to change their business model to cater, online employees, right? Online workers or digital nomads. A lot of people working at a San Francisco company can come over to Thailand for an infinite stay. They can stay here for a year or 6 months period, and they can work online because they can work anywhere, anytime, right? So for smaller hotels, they can serve these clients. And I think Thailand is a great place for medical tourism. The healthcare is one of the best in the world, our healthcare system, and also one of the most affordable, healthcare prices around the world. People in Dubai, for example, they can come to Thailand, get the same surgery, same treatment, plus the beach, right? And traveling and also healthcare treatment combined are still cheaper in Thailand than just the surgery alone in their country, right? So they can come and get their teeth done with the Thai dentist, or surgery done in Thailand, plus the beach or mountains and temples and traveling, and all combined are still cheaper than going to their hospital in their own country. Right?
Or even those in Western country or the US, probably not their choice anymore as a result of this pandemic handling in US and many Western countries. They are in not so good shape, right?
Yes. So healthcare are not very affordable in those countries, in the United States, in Europe, in Middle East. That's why a lot of people are flying to Thailand, we heard, because our healthcare system is one of the best in the world. We also offer at one of the best pricing in the world. And also Thailand is a tourist destination. Like everyone loves Thailand. Right? We have the price to quality ratio is great here for all the products.
Good and cheap.
Good and cheap. Right? The living standard here is great. So I think we should tap on this infrastructure for Thailand, this environment, this price factor, price ratio, and hotels should open up for smaller group. Focus on longer stay, right? And for big hotels, people might not want to go to big hotels now with a lot of people, so they need to impose on a stricter procedure, like no stand in line for check-in, more spaces between tables, invest in low touch technology to ensure that they are a safety first hotel, and they clean their rooms at the same standard as hospitals. Every few hours they have hand sanitizers, gel, masks, at the entrance in toilets to ensure safety. To make sure that staying in a big hotel is the same as staying in a small hotel with fewer customers or gatherings. Bigger hotels might need to invest more in social distancing technology or low touch technology to ensure more trust versus small villas.
Yeah. So good top is not only good and cheap, but now got to be safe and hygienic. Correct?
I think the top priority is safe and hygienic. Is the most important now.
The most important now.
You cannot think of yourself as a hotel company. You should think of yourself as a safety company with hotel rooms.
I see. A new mindset for hotel management, for tourism management. It's a safety, it's a hygienic business. Not the other way around. It's not the hotel company, it's not a tourism business, but safety business, right?
So yes, so you cannot say you are a hotel company with safety protocols.
The other way around.
You just say you are a safety company with hotel rooms.
Yeah. So that very big issue in everyone's minds internationally is the matter of confidence, of trust. Can I be sure? Can I be confident that I go to Thailand, I visit Thailand, I won't get infected by the virus? So it's the thing you just mentioned. Make sure that hotel management is a safety business with hotel rooms.
Yes, I think the most important is also communication. You need to communicate your brand value, your trust factor very well with the customers. You need to communicate that you have the best procedure, the best technology. When they come to Thailand, you can fully feel safe with all the environment, all the technology, all the procedure. If we have done all of the above, but if we are not communicating well, then the impact is not realized, right? So it is also very important that after we have checked all the boxes, we also communicate well with the rest of the world, so everyone is on the same page.
So everyone around the world know what Thailand is doing and trying to make sure that. So we're going to have a long checklist, as we have mentioned many of them about safety, about hygiene, and in addition to being good and cheap places to to visit, to work, to long stay. So I think this will happen soon, and maybe we can expect some Chinese visitor first, because they are just next door, not far away from us, and as you mentioned earlier, they are the biggest foreign tourism groups. So the Chinese, some Asian, and maybe later on, we don't know, the Europeans or the other international tourists may be more confident to visit Thailand. And what else you like to add before we finish our session about restarting our tourism and hospitality with technology, please?
Sure. So this pandemic could potentially cut at least 50 million jobs globally in the traveling and tourism industry, and it will take at least 10 months for everything to recover back to its normal levels. But we cannot afford to wait that long, right? Because tourism accounts for 13-14% of the Thai economy, and it plays a significant part in the Thai economy. It provides 1 in 6 jobs, and countries with the best procedure or the low impact, COVID impact, started to reopening up their country. Some will start to travel, especially the millennials group. They are the fearless one. They will start first.
Let us fear.
So Thailand should focus on opening up just to cater, because to cater these travelers. because we are a country with one of the best environments in terms of health care system. World-class healthcare system, price to quality ratio is great, not just for healthcare but for everything else in Thailand also. Everyone loves us. We are one of the best tourism place in the world, one of the safest in the world. We have nice beach, nice mountains, nice people. We should take this opportunity to communicate with the world that we are now ready to foster our medical tourism space, or as a safe haven for those who want to avoid the risky high level contacted virus places to come here and work for 6 months, 12 months for infant stays. We have the infrastructure, we have the hotels ready for those who want to stay for a longer period. Those who want to stay for a shorter period, we have invested in low touch technology, hygiene procedure in place, regular testing. We don't need to do this 14 days quarantine if they want to visit Thailand. We have a strict
we can do
alternative procedure.
Yeah.
And everyone would, once they're confident about Thailand, they have, trust in Thailand, then they would come here and boost our GDP, right? Our economy could recover quicker than other countries. But hotels need to focus. They need to do a few things before we get back to that place. They need to do a few check boxes. Like they need to maybe start with corporate travelers to hedge future contracts, or focus on millennials for short-term stay. Or they need to change their business model to cater for infinite stay, longer stay, 6 months, 1 year. They need to invest in low-touch technology, and they need to have a stricter procedure to avoid gathering more spaces between tables inside a restaurant or delivery service. But they need to also communicate this well to the rest of the world, that everything is invested. It's going to pay out in the long run if we invest in technology, in human capital training. To ensure this safe environment. It will pay out in the long run. So I think we should start now. This is the best time to adjust the business model, to redefine hotels, to prepare the new procedure, to invest in technology. It's not a time for just a frozen shutdown period. It's the best time to have time to reimagine what a hotel business could be in the future. We should not just stop, but we should use this time wisely to reinvent, to redefine the traveling industry altogether.
Okay, thank you. I hope your message will be helpful to all the people in the tourism and hospitality sector. And thank you once again, Kuntop Jirayu, the founder and CEO of BitCup, and he really a technology guide for virtually every business. We need technology to restart, to stay relevant, to adapt to the new normal following in the middle of this COVID-19 pandemic. So thank you once again, Kuntop, and we have to say goodbye from thailandtoday.com and tech2thai.com in this event also. So bye-bye, Kuntop.
Thank you very much, Kap. สวัสดีครับ
Yes.
Stop live
แล้วก็
end meeting
เอ็นนี้ recording เอ็นยัง
ถ้า end meeting ก็คือเดี๋ยวมันก็ recording end meeting เลย
เป็น meeting นี้ใช่ไหม